You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, this is Jessie. How y'all doing out there today? You know, I miss you when we're not talking. All right, don't tell me you don't believe that yet. I really do. I do. As always, there's a lot of chaos going on. What would I talk about if world peace was declared? Tell you what, guys, if you guys can get world peace, there's no conflict anywhere in the world, I'll go off the air. A very happy host. So, first of all, I need to tell you guys something, and I don't want to have to share this, but I don't have a choice. Nope, I don't. I am battling a very, very sore throat. It has been a nagging problem. I am going to do my absolute level best to bring you a show every night. And you know, I will bend over backwards going cuckoo if I have to try and do it. But if I lose my voice, I can't do it. So I just thought I'd want to warn you, and for those of you listening via iTunes, Spreaker, Google Play, Blueberry, Podcast.com, or any of the other multitude of places this show can be found. What, you didn't know we were almost everywhere? We're everywhere! Today is April 3rd. But like I said, folks, I am battling an insanely sore throat. I will keep doing this show as long as my voice is a reasonable quality for radio. And if it gets to the point where it's not, I'm going to have to back out for just a little while. So I can't help it. I'm sorry. I can only do what my body will allow. All right. Moving right along. First of all, you gotta know who's coming up right on my heels. What do you mean you don't know? You don't realize tonight's Monday night and the Stafford Voice follows me? And there's a new episode of Conversations in Science out. Oh, yes, there is. A brand new episode. This one is also about climate change, but this time, instead of talking about what causes it, Dr. Doc and I talked about ideas that could fix it. We had cow farts and plastic roads and all kinds of things. Some of the ideas were just absolutely crazy, and some of the ideas we both actually really liked. Hey, Governor Atlanta, if you hear this one, contact those plastic road people we mentioned in the show. You might be able to get I-85 back up and running faster than you think if it becomes plastic. No, I'm not kidding. Plastic roads, people. To hear the whole plastic road story, you're gonna have to go to Conversations in Science, because I don't remember it all. That's Doc's thing, not mine. All right, as always, show prep. Don't I always have a stack for you? Although I have to say, I felt very relieved today when I checked defense.gov and I'm not ending the show on taps. That actually felt great to know that I'm not ending the show on taps tonight. I haven't decided what I'm going out with, but I'm going out with something. We're going to have a little fun with it. So I've got the Middle East. I've got Asia Pacific. Good old North Korea. But this time, he's not in the news because he launched something. Nope. He is not in the news because he launched something. How's that for a shocker? He's actually just in the news to be in the news. It's actually something he did that was halfway decent. So, I was kind of surprised at that too. What can I say? What can I say? Kim Jong-un actually did something sane. Normally, I tell you, he is just absolutely quackers. That's the wrong duck sound. I'll have to get the right one. But anyway, normally I tell you Kim Jong-un is just absolutely quackers. I really do. But, and I'm looking for his sound effect, because you know that's not the Kim Jong-un sound effect. But this time he is actually not doing something. Here we go. Here's his sound effect. That's Kim Jong-un for you. So, yeah. That's normally how I feel like he sounds. But this time, I gotta actually give the man credit where credit is due. We might as well go to that story since I've already talked about it for a full minute. Alright, let's start off with Kim Jong-un. The South Korean women's football team, as in soccer team, arrived in Pyongyang Monday for an official game in the North Korean capital later this week. The two Koreas will face each other on Friday in a qualifying match for the Asian Football Confederation Cup. In the 50,000-seat Kim Il-sung Stadium, Pyongyang is hosting the qualifying games for Group B, which also includes India, Hong Kong, and Uzbekistan, through April 11th. The North and South Korea men's squads have played each other before in North Korea, but not in an official game since 1990. According to South Korea's news agency, 51 South Koreans, including media, will stay in Pyongyang for the event. The winner of the group moves on to the 2018 Women's Asian Cup in Jordan, which is the regional qualifier for the Women's World Cup in 2019 in France. Now, here's something I didn't know. As of March 12th, the South Korean women were ranked second and the North Koreans were 32nd in the AFC. North Korea, along with having a major home advantage, is favored to win the Korean showdown. They are ranked 10th by FIFA, and the South is ranked 15th. So this could be an interesting soccer game. Although I have my doubts, I really have my doubts, ESPN is going to show it. I'll at least have to see if I can find the score from it for you. Moving right along. While we're talking sports, yeah, I know, I've got sports all over my desk tonight. What can I say? I'm just sneaking up on it. The NHL announced on Monday it will not participate in the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, saying it sees no tangible benefit in halting the season for three weeks, despite clear signs from the world's best players they want to go. The league ended weeks of speculation saying the matter was officially closed. The league said no meaningful dialogue had materialized in talks with the NHLPA, International Olympics Committee, and I'm assuming the NHLPA is the National Hockey League Players Association, the International Olympic Committee, and International Ice Hockey Federation. Even after IIHF had agreed to pay for players' travel and insurance costs. When the IOC refused, the NHL had been looking for more concessions believed to be marketing opportunities tied to the games. So, there was little progress to report on that front. The league wanted to close the matter before playoffs began April 13th. Messages seeking comment from the NHLPA and the IIHF, which I'm assuming is the International Something Hockey Federation. International Ice Hockey Federation? Yeah, that's probably it. I am guessing. Remember, I'm on Twitter, Jessie's POV. If you can't find me, you're not looking. Yeah, and of course, you can always email me at the station at jessiespov@klrnradio.com. So, when there was little progress, they just said, we're done with this. Team owners have complained that stopping the NHL season for 3 weeks every 4 years wasn't worth it, and they have been wary of injuries to star players. NHL players have participated in the previous 5 Olympics dating back to 1998. Many players expressed a strong desire to go, and Washington Capitals All-Star Alex Ovechkin says he plans to go regardless of NHL participation. The NHL has not decided whether to allow teams to make a decision on a case-by-case basis about players participating. That will come at a later date. The league says it is, however, moving ahead with its 2018 schedule without a break for the Olympics. The NHL has not ruled out the 2022 games in Beijing. However, the IIHF and the IOC had indicated that could be conditional on the NHL going to South Korea. So it looks like we may be back to amateurs with a few professionals sprinkled in for Winter Olympic hockey. All right. I've got some politics. But Jessie, you don't cover politics. South Korean politics, silly goose. South Korean politics. Come on, I don't cover the White House. Y'all know that if you're a regular listener to this show. South Korean human rights lawyer Moon Jae-in won the Liberal Democratic Party primary vote on Monday, setting him on course to become the next president and perhaps take a softer line on North Korea. Moon has been leading in the opinion polls ahead of the May 9th election to succeed the impeached Park Geun-hye, who was dismissed last month over a corruption scandal involving family-run conglomerates or cabal. If elected, Moon, who's 64, is expected to soften South Korea's policy towards North Korea, but possibly Sorry, folks, I had to swallow some water and I couldn't wait. Possibly delay the deployment of the THAAD missile defense system that has enraged China and get tough on corporate criminals. I will do everything I have to do to look after the falling standard of the people's living, revive the economy, and resurrect national security that's been riddled with holes, Moon told an enthusiastic party crowd in his acceptance speech. In a major policy statement in March, Moon said there was no choice but to recognize Kim Jong-un as the leader of the reclusive North Korea and deal with him. So this guy wants to try and deal with this guy. Such an approach may clash with the United States, where President Donald Trump has pressed China to do more to rein in the North and said it may have to deal with Pyongyang's nuclear missile programs on its own if need be. Moon has also vowed to end the practice of pardoning convicted corporate criminals and to break up the cozy relationship between big business and the government. This could be interesting. I may actually have to keep an eye on this race. Moving right along. Actually, folks, we aren't going to move right along. I need a drink of water. I'm going to have to cut this show short tonight if I'm having a drink every couple of stories. Sorry about the silence, folks. I had to get a drink, and I couldn't wait. Yes, I had to pour myself some water. What can I say? A South Korean cargo vessel is missing after losing contact in the South Atlantic about 1,500 miles offshore. 22 crew members are unaccounted for. 2 Filipino crew members floating in a life raft were rescued Saturday, but other lifeboats found in the area were empty. On Friday, a crew member sent a text message saying the 148,000-ton ship was taking in water on the port side. A search operation is continuing for the 22 people. 8 of the missing are South Korean nationals and 14 are Filipino. South Korea has requested Brazil and Uruguay to aid in the search and rescue. The very large ore carrier, Stellar Daisy, was sailing from Brazil to China carrying iron ore when it sent a distress signal to its operator, South Korea's Polaris Shipping, on Friday. The ship is owned by the shipping firm. Polaris Shipping is based in Busan, South Korea. It's quite a bit. I mean, come on, you gotta think about it. There is a lot of stuff going on over there. They've got elections, they've got an upcoming major international soccer game between North and South Korea, and they have a sinking ship, and the U.S. military relationship may just depend on it. All right, we are going to take a commercial break. I know we're not quite at the bottom of the hour, but I told you guys I was going to need to be real careful with my voice tonight. I may not be able to bring you a show tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Now, you can always find me on Jesse's POV on Twitter, or shoot me an email, jessespov@klrnradio.com. See you on the other side!
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine combat veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide, I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
All right, folks, and thank you for hanging in there with me over that commercial break. And I know we're normally just now taking the break. For those of you who are just tuning in, my throat is fire engine red and my voice is threatening to go. Bye-bye, folks. I'm out of here. So I took an early break, got myself some water, and a cough drop. So if you hear something in my mouth, it's my cough drop. Had to do something to try and lubricate my throat a little bit. So, moving right along. Oh, yes. Gotta get my show prep in order here. Take 2 seconds. Sorry, I was chasing a cough drop during the commercial break so I could keep doing the show, folks. All right. This is a very long, very interesting article, so I'm going to have to go through bits and pieces of it. But Iran may be arming Bahraini militants. Oh, yes, Iran. We've changed regions of the world. Back to our second favorite topic, Iran. A man built a secret bomb factory. He was very clever, suspiciously so. Bahraini investigators thought for a gang known mostly for lobbing Molotov cocktail, thought they were looking for a Molotov cocktail lobbing gang. But instead, there was an entire underground complex. In one room, there were $20,000 lathes and hydraulic presses for making armor-piercing projectiles capable of slicing through a tank. Another box held C4 explosives, all of foreign origin and all in quantities that could sink a battleship. The country's investigators said most of these items have never been seen before in Bahrain. And this is definitely a game changer. So I'm going to have to look a little further into this story and see what else we can come up with on it, because this could be really interesting if Iran is trying to extend their influence to Bahrain. I mean, the vast weapons cache was discovered beneath a villa in predominantly Shiite neighborhood of the village of Nudurat 18 months ago. Few people outside the Persian Gulf seemed to notice. Bahrain's National Police Force displayed photographs of chemical drums, bags of white powder, and said that this was proof that Iranian actions are attempting to undermine the security and stability within Bahrain and the wider region. So, now the Bahraini government is Sunni, and the FBI has sent over analysts to meet with and discuss these things. And even a former Matthew Levitt, a former FBI counterterrorism expert, has said the problem with Bahrain is they have so little credibility, it's hard to separate what's real from what wasn't. So, but in this case, he thinks there is something there. Bahraini officials have shown increased willingness to share evidence and seek outside scientific analysis to convince Western governments of the seriousness of the problem their country faces. That effort led to a confidential assessment that was furnished to several intelligence agencies late last year. 3 U.S. intelligence officials who have looked at the evidence said it broadly supports Bahrain's claim of Iranian involvement in several recent attacks, as well as in the arming of hardcore militant groups. Like I said, folks, Iran is definitely seeking to expand their control of the region. There is no doubt of that in my mind. Moving right along. Iran rejected the allegation by U.S. Secretary of Defense James Mattis that it was the primary exporter of terrorism, and said, of course, that the main source was U.S. ally Saudi Arabia. Some countries, led by America, are determined to ignore the main source of Takfiri Wahhabi terrorism and extremism. He is, of course, referring to the hardline Sunni Muslim groups and Saudi Arabia's official Wahhabi school of Islam. Saudi Arabia denies backing terrorism and has cracked down on jihadists at home, jailing thousands, stopping hundreds from traveling to fight abroad, and cutting militant finances. Shiite Muslim power Iran and Saudi Arabia, the bastion of Sunni Islam and a close U.S. ally, are long-standing religious and political arch-rivals and often accuse each other of backing terrorism. Let me see if I can find that audio clip. I think I have it pulled, so we're going to give my voice a break for just a second while I look for that audio clip. I'm sure I've got a good Mattis one here somewhere. I don't delete too many show clips, folks, until I am well and truly sure I'm done with them. You ought to have figured that out by now. As many times as I'll go back and pull something a little bit older up, you have to have had that figured out. So I'm just going to give myself another second. No, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing the clip I'm looking for. I may have it, but I'm not finding it, and I'm not going to continue to look for it. But we will pull a Mattis clip. And this was end of last month, where he kind of went through the state of things.
We must look reality in the eye. We see Russia and China seeking veto power over the economic, diplomatic, and security decisions of nations on their periphery. Terrorist groups murder the innocent and threaten peace in many regions and target us. North Korea's reckless rhetoric and provocative actions continue despite United Nations censure and sanctions. This situation calls for our department to maintain a safe and secure nuclear deterrent and a decisive conventional force that can also fight irregular enemies, since our military must be able to counter all threats facing us.
And I've got one more clip from Mattis. Again, this was from the end of last month.
In concert with this budget request, we must also have continuity of effort that is not possible under another continuing resolution. Only an FY 2017 appropriations bill can permit us to spend the American taxpayer money judiciously and start us on the long road back to military readiness and ensure we can fight effectively. I must note there are specific readiness gaps across our forces, which I would prefer to address in closed session so as not to embolden our enemies.
Gotta give him props. He didn't air the gaps in public. All right. Since we're discussing military, and I need another drink of water. Warning, long audio clip, cute and funny story. I was going to end the show with it, but we're going to do this real quick. It is about shark antibodies and how they may be protecting our soldiers in the near future.
The shark is not only one of the oldest living species on Earth, it has cemented itself infamously in American pop culture. Now, the shark has a lead role in protecting our nation's warfighters. Scientists from the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory are using shark antibodies to develop new alternatives to chemical and biological threat detection tools. The lab is developing antibodies that can be integrated into biosensor platforms that will be used to alert for the presence of biothreats on and off the battlefield. The antibodies may also be used to determine if a service member has been exposed to a chemical or biological agent.
Shark antibodies are an ancient type of antibodies that are unique in that the binding occurs just in a single domain, where human antibodies require two domains to come together.
Current detection tools use antibodies that are derived from mammals. However, shark antibodies are smaller and can remain stable at elevated temperatures. This allows for consistent development of diagnostic tools and reduced costs, since refrigeration wouldn't be required.
We get that single domain and can manipulate that and produce it to be a more stable binding element that can then be used out in the field and decrease the logistical costs that may be incurred by having those fragile biological elements out there.
Once finalized and deployed, the shark antibodies will provide a cost-effective approach for biological and chemical agent detection platforms, protecting warfighters on and off the battlefield.
I did find that was a very cute shark antibody story. I was going to save it till the end of the show, but my voice wasn't holding out that long. All right. 2 more Iran stories, and then I've got a Nikki Haley clip, and we're probably going to end not long after that, because I am fighting my voice with every word. An American of Iranian descent arrested in Iran in July and sentenced to 18 years imprisonment on dubious charges has been released on bail after he went on a hunger strike. American Robin Shahini, who's approximately 46, however there are some reports that do say he's 47, was released about 2 weeks ago before the start of Nowruz, the Persian New Year. And this is according to the Center of Human Rights in Iran. It's a New York-based advocacy group. Adi Jemi, the group's executive director, said it was unclear whether Mr. Shahini's release was temporary or if he could leave the country. Mr. Jahemi said that Mr. Shahini had been required to post a bail of 2 billion rials. Rials is the currency in Iran. That's about $60,000. And he could be sent back to prison if his conviction was affirmed on appeal. Mr. Shahini is a graduate student at San Diego University, is one of at least 4 Americans of Iranian descent who have been imprisoned in Iran since the country negotiated a nuclear agreement with major powers, including the United States. In other words, the Iran nuke deal went into effect. The agreement relaxed economic sanctions in exchange for verifiable promises of peaceful nuclear work. Many human rights activists and rights activists in general regard the imprisonment as a warning to Americans of Iranian descent not to view the nuclear agreement as a sign of better relations between the U.S. and Iran. Mr. Shahini was seized while visiting his mother in the northeast city of Gorgan. He was sentenced in October to 18 years imprisonment on charges that included aiding a hostile power and threatening national security. Yes, they charged a graduate student with threatening national security, folks. Mr. Gaheni speculated this hunger strike had played an important role in the decision to release him on bail. Given the lack of evidence with regards to the charges brought against him, it was a high risk for his captors to keep him in prison while his health deteriorated. Let's hope he can leave the country soon. This is why I say cross Iran off your tourist list. Just don't go there. I don't care why you go there. Let's just take it off the list of countries. I'd love to go there. It would be a fascinating trip. Am I willing to risk my freedom to go there? Absolutely not. Because Iran doesn't accept dual nationalities. So if you're an Iranian American citizen, in their eyes, you're an Iranian citizen. And they've proven that they will take Americans right off the street in Tehran. Let's not give them any more Americans to pick up, okay, folks? What's that, Host Kitty? What was that? Oh, was that about Iran capturing Americans? And that would be for Mr. Shahini getting bail. I had 2 Host Kitty comments. What can I say? Now, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley has branded Syrian President Bashar Assad as a war criminal who has been protected by Russia and Iran in the Security Council for far too long. She blamed the Obama administration for not acting sooner to try and prevent the war in Syria. The previous administration needs to take responsibility for that. First of all, Assad, he's a war criminal. He's used chemical weapons on his own people. He's not allowing aid to come in. He's very much a deterrence to peace. But then you looked at the fact the Security Council has to acknowledge when the chemical weapons... We had proof he used it 3 times on his own people. Why aren't we dealing with it? Now, Ambassador Haley will be the president of the UN Security Council for the month of April. And General Mattis, I believe, is already scheduled to lead one of the meetings. Nikki Haley also says North Korea is a threat to the world and demands that Beijing impose sanctions on North Korea regime and Kim Jong-un's regime for its continued nuclear and ballistic missile tests. It all comes down to China, Haley says. They could put enough pressure on North Korea to get them to step back. Now it's time for them to prove it. All right, I do have an audio clip from Fox News. Courtesy of Fox News, I do want to take a listen.
We just need the United States to lead again. I mean, think about that. Lead again. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And leadership is just letting them know what we're for, what we're against, have the backs of our allies and make sure they keep the backs of us. And then anyone that challenges us, call them out. Let them know what we think is wrong. That's all this is just making sure we're changing the culture to showing strength from the United States again, action, and making sure that we show value in the United Nations. I think it's important for the American people.
I like Nikki Haley's attitude. She has a take no prisoners. You're either with us, you're against us, and I will call you out. I like the attitude. Now, I think we're going to end with one last story. Let me just get to it. I have a whole stack here, albeit a small stack, that I'm going to have to save for another show. I promise I will get them out to you soon. My throat is too sore for me to continue for more than one more story, and you know I like to end on a positive note. U.S. soldiers and their Hungarian Defense Force counterparts got a feel for firing each other's weapons during weapon familiarization training on March 22nd. More than 100 soldiers from Troop A, Apache 4th Squadron, 10th Cavalry Regiment, 3rd Armored Brigade Combat Team, 4th Infantry Division participated in the joint training with the Hungarian 2nd Battalion, 25th Infantry Brigade. That was a mouthful, folks. Apache troop provided instruction on the M9 pistol, the M4, and the M240L machine gun. The Hungarians provided instruction on the P9 RC pistol, the AK-47, and the Dragunov sniper rifle, the PKM machine gun, and the RPG-7. Training alongside Staff Sergeant Matthew Penchico, a platoon sergeant for Apache Troop, participated with his soldiers during the NATO weaponry familiarization training. Training alongside the Hungarian National Forces has allowed our soldiers from both nations to develop a higher understanding of the capabilities and employment of various weapon systems. We continue to look forward to further opportunities to train and build various relationships with our friends and allies. All right, folks. Don't forget the album Battle Cry on our website. It's on the chat. There's a link to it right on Amazon on the chat room page. I'll get an iTunes link up as soon as I get a minute. And on that note, I'm out of here.